In the spring of 1994, a hydraulic engineer named Robert Festermacher began a survey in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. He was hired by the Rural Electric Association to report on households not yet connected to the national grid. His mission was to prove that extending the grid to these farms was technically feasible. Festermacher had spent 16 years designing municipal water systems and small hydroelectric infrastructure. He understood the power of water better than almost any engineer working in the state at that time. After visiting 11 standard Amish farms, he stopped at a 140-acre property. The farm sat next to a small creek running along its eastern boundary. This creek had a flow rate of only about 40 gallons per minute, an unimpressive figure. But what was operating beneath that stream left a seasoned engineer like him in total shock. It was a homemade mechanical assembly put together from scrap cast iron pipes and old parts. The system consisted of a hydraulic ram pump and a wooden Pelton turbine wheel. The farm owner said he had personally installed it in 1982 for a total cost of about $80. Festermacher's instruments showed the system was generating a steady 340 watts of DC power. It had been running continuously like that for 12 years, with no fuel and no significant maintenance. Festermacher completed the feasibility report, but intentionally omitted the presence of this machine. He later confessed he could find no honest reason to convince this family to buy grid power. Why has such a cheap and durable solution never appeared in mainstream textbooks? The Amish system is not just a pump. It is the refinement of 19th century technology. Its operating principle is based on two devices that require no external energy input. The first stage is the hydraulic ram pump, a device that uses the kinetic energy of water to push itself uphill. It was invented in France in 1796 by Joseph Michel Montgolfier, the father of the hot air balloon. By the 1920s, an estimated 170,000 such pumps were operating across American farms. By 1960, that number dropped to nearly zero, as the electric grid began to monopolize the market. This technology did not become obsolete. It simply became inconvenient for the utility company's business model. The second stage is the Pelton wheel, a type of turbine invented by Lester Pelton in 1878. It converts water pressure into mechanical rotational force with incredible efficiency, over 90%. When connected to a small generator, this wheel turns pressurized water into continuous electricity. At the Lebanon farm, this system operates 340 days a year, stopping only when the water freezes. The gap between $80 in parts and permanent free power is exactly what the power industry wants to hide. This documentary will release the original documents of an energy system that existed before the grid was born. The hydraulic ram pump operates on a physical principle that is extremely counterintuitive. It uses the inertia of flowing water to create a massive pressure spike when the flow is suddenly stopped. This phenomenon is known as water hammer, something modern pipe engineers always try to eliminate. But the Amish use the very destruction of the water hammer as the force to push water up the hill. The machine automatically repeats this cycle thousands of times a day without any intervention. It has only two moving parts, a waste valve and a delivery valve. Robert Festermacher recorded the detailed dimensions of this system in his personal field notebook. The drive pipe was made of 2-inch diameter galvanized iron, 47 feet long, running from the creek to the pump. The drop was only 4 feet, but enough to create the kinetic energy needed for the entire process. The drive pipe length was meticulously calculated to optimize the impulse without losing energy to friction. The pump's waste valve was a standard cast iron check valve found at any hardware store. It was mounted vertically to use gravity for automatic valve opening. When the water flow reached a certain speed, the drag of the water would slam the valve shut. This sudden stop created a pressure spike 8 to 12 times stronger than the initial static pressure. That pressure forced water through a second valve into a wooden accumulator and then up to a high tank. The storage tank was located 180 feet toward the hill at an elevation of 62 feet. The water pressure at the Pelton wheel inlet reached about 26.8 pounds per square inch, strong enough to cut a thin wooden slat. This system followed the Rankine efficiency equation, a strict standard in hydraulic engineering. With a creek flow of 12 gallons per minute, it pushed 1.44 gallons to the tank every minute. The actual efficiency of the farm system reached 61%, an incredible number for scrap components. The most sophisticated adjustment made by this farmer did not involve expensive components. It resided in a small lead piece attached to the pump's waste valve flap. Festermacher discovered a 3-ounce lead fishing sinker bolted directly to the valve face. This small weight changed the closing threshold velocity of the waste valve during each cycle. In commercial pumps, the waste valve weight is usually fixed for a general average setting. But every stream and every drive pipe has its own unique mechanical vibration frequency. A valve that closes too early prevents the water column from reaching its maximum kinetic energy. When that happens, the resulting water hammer pressure is too weak to push water up 62 feet efficiently. Conversely, if the valve closes too late, energy is wasted through turbulence at the discharge port. The farmer found the sweet spot of the system by experimenting with different lead weights. That 3-ounce sinker pushed the closing velocity from 2.8 feet per second to an optimal 3.4 feet per second. With just a single bolt and a piece of scrap lead, the system's efficiency increased by 15%. The delivery flow to the storage tank rose from 1.44 gallons to approximately 1.65 gallons per minute. Over a full day, this minor change provided an additional 360 gallons of pressurized water for the turbine. This extra water allowed the generator to run longer and more steadily during peak usage hours. The electrical power output increased from 340 watts to approximately 390 watts continuously. This extra electricity was enough to light up the entire barn area throughout the night. The transition stage from water pressure to electricity happens at the base of the massive tank. Here, a 1-inch diameter brass nozzle creates a powerful, high-velocity water jet. The jet strikes the Pelton wheel buckets directly at a velocity of 28 feet per second. The Pelton wheel has a 14-inch diameter and was hand-cast and polished with extreme precision. It is directly coupled to the shaft of a salvaged automotive alternator. This is a standard 12-volt DC alternator, typically found in old trucks or tractors. The farmer made one critical modification. He bypassed the internal voltage regulator. He supplied a fixed excitation current from a small battery maintained by the system itself. This allowed the generator to produce steady power even if the turbine speed fluctuated slightly. The resulting current is direct current, DC, which is extremely safe and easy to store in battery banks. This system provides enough power for lighting, milk separators, and handheld workshop tools. Remarkably, the maintenance cost for this entire setup was nearly zero for decades. The waste valve only required replacement once after over 20 years of continuous operation due to wear. The Pelton wheel bearings were only re-greased twice over the span of 2 decades. Meanwhile, the external power grid always demands subscription fees, maintenance costs, and hidden taxes. The real reason this system is banned is not found in laws directly forbidding the installation. It lies in administrative barriers and environmental regulations designed to create difficulties. Pennsylvania's Dam Safety and Encroachments Act requires a permit for any structure placed in a stream. To obtain a permit, residents must submit engineering reports on downstream flow impact. These reports require signatures from licensed engineers, costing thousands of dollars. For a poor farmer, this is an insurmountable financial barrier to doing things by the book. Furthermore, utility companies constantly lobby to impose strict technical standards. They view self-sufficient energy systems as a direct threat to their long-term revenue. If every farm with a stream installed an $80 pump, the industry would lose millions of customers. Robert Festermacher understood this clearly when he saw the system in Lebanon. He knew that if he included it in the official report, regulators would come to demand its removal. They would use water source protection or technical safety as excuses to crush this energy freedom. Therefore, he chose to remain silent throughout his time as a state consultant. His notebook is rare evidence of an efficient technology pushed to the fringes of society. He kept it as a technical treasure until his retirement in 2009. The Amish farmer continued to use his system until at least 2016. For 34 years, his family never received a single electricity bill, while his neighbors paid tens of thousands of dollars to the national grid during that same period. The truth is, this system completely shatters the theory that a centralized power grid is necessary. It operates in a closed loop, taking full advantage of gravity and inertia. When the waste valve closes, a shock wave propagates back through the main drive pipe. This wave travels at the speed of sound and water, carrying an immense amount of energy. The entire pump body vibrates under the impact of this miniature pressure explosion. But instead of destroying the pipes, this energy is compressed into an air chamber. The air chamber acts as a shock absorber, converting intermittent pulses into a continuous flow. This is the secret to pushing water uphill without the need for pistons or electric motors. A good ram pump system can operate efficiently, even if the water source is only a few feet higher than the pump. At the Lebanon farm, the lift ratio was 1 to 15, an extremely ideal figure. For every 15 liters of water passing through the waste valve, 1 liter is delivered to the hilltop tank. This means the system is squeezing the maximum potential out of even the smallest stream. The Pelton wheel beneath the tank is a masterpiece of simplicity. It is nothing like the massive turbines found in large hydroelectric dams. It is designed to operate with low water flow, but extremely high pressure. Each bucket on the wheel is shaped like 2 cups joined together. This shape allows the water jet to reverse direction by nearly 180 degrees upon impact. According to the law of conservation of momentum, this reversal transfers maximum force to the wheel. If the jet simply hit a flat surface, the efficiency would be cut in half. This technique requires precision in aligning the nozzle with the center of the buckets. The farmer used old rubber gaskets to reduce vibrations in the machine frame. The generator frame was made from scrap steel bars welded together securely. The sound coming from the system is not the roar of an engine. It is a steady click-clack from the waste valve, mixed with the soft hiss of the water jet. For an engineer like Festermacher, it was a symphony of mechanical efficiency. He realized that the world had forgotten a critical path toward energy independence. Instead of building massive power plants, we could utilize millions of small streams. But this model cannot generate profit for the shareholders of utility corporations. A device that runs forever at a cost of $80 is an economic disaster for them. That is why electrical safety standards were gradually tightened to eliminate homemade systems. These regulations often require devices to be certified by expensive organizations. A generator salvaged from an old car would certainly never pass these inspections. Safety is sometimes just an excuse to force citizens to use third-party services. The Amish farmer didn't care about those certificates. He only cared about the results. With 340 to 390 watts, he could run the most essential equipment for a self-sufficient life. He had no need for air conditioning or large, power-hungry televisions. This system was designed to serve real needs, not to support a consumerist lifestyle. Festermacher spent many hours sitting by the stream, watching the waste valve work. He wondered how many similar technical secrets were buried in isolated communities. In the United States, the rural electrification revolution of the 1930s wiped out most of these technologies. The government provided low-interest loans to pull power lines to every doorstep. In exchange, farmers lost their independence and began relying on monthly bills. The old ram pumps were discarded and replaced by electric-powered pumps. When the power goes out, the entire water supply of modern farms becomes completely paralyzed. But in Lebanon, whether there is a major storm or a national grid collapse, the power keeps flowing. The Amish system has no expensive lithium batteries or complex inverters. It relies on Earth's gravity, an energy source that never runs dry. Storing energy as elevated water is far more efficient than using chemicals in a battery. A 500-gallon water tank at an elevation of 62 feet is equivalent to a massive battery ready to discharge. This is the very definition of sustainability that environmental experts talk about today. Compared to solar power, this system offers superior long-term stability. Solar panels cannot generate energy at night or during days with heavy cloud cover. To maintain a continuous current, solar systems must be paired with expensive battery banks. The lifespan of solar panels usually only lasts 20 to 25 years before efficiency declines. In contrast, the creek in Lebanon flows continuously 24 hours a day, regardless of weather or time. The Amish system does not require chemical batteries to store electricity for the evening. It stores energy as water pressure in a massive tank located at the top of the hill. When you turn on a light, the water jet strikes the Pelton wheel and generates power instantly from stored kinetic energy. The cost to install a solar system with equivalent capacity is thousands of dollars. The Amish's $80 figure is a direct challenge to the consumer economy. Look at the pump body's construction diagram to understand why it is incredibly durable. It is assembled from T-joints and cast iron pipe fittings available at any hardware store. There are no sophisticated electronic components, no control microchips prone to damage from lightning. The ram pump body acts as a mechanical heart, beating rhythmically in the middle of the stream. Each beat of the waste valve is a reminder of an era when technology served people instead of binding them. The waste valve gasket was cut by the farmer from an old truck tire for durability and noise reduction. This creative fix helps the system run more quietly and protects the cast iron valve face from cracking. The air chamber was made from a large section of steel pipe sealed at both ends to compress the air inside. This air cushion acts as a mechanical spring, absorbing excess energy from the water hammer waves. Without the air chamber, the delivery pipes would soon crack due to sudden pressure changes. Modern engineers call this a high-efficiency, low-tech solution. The Pelton wheel was cast from scrap aluminum, a lightweight material with excellent corrosion resistance. Each bucket on the wheel was polished smooth to reduce the friction of the water jet upon impact. Aligning the wheel's shaft with the generator is the stage that requires the most patience. Even a deviation of a few millimeters causes vibrations that destroy bearings in a matter of weeks. The farmer used thin wooden shims to level and adjust the machine frame to perfect balance. This system proves that energy does not have to be a luxury commodity. It is a fundamental right that anyone with a water source can harness for themselves. Why do engineering universities no longer teach detailed lessons on hydraulic ram pumps? The answer lies in the direction of today's globalized industrial landscape. Preference is given to complex systems that require professional maintenance services and proprietary spare parts. A pump that you can fix yourself with a wrench and a few pieces of scrap rubber is an enemy of profit. Many argue that 340 watts is too small compared to the needs of a modern family. But if you know how to optimize consumption, that figure is more than enough for survival. The Amish use high-efficiency LEDs and direct mechanical devices instead of using electricity for everything. They separate luxury comfort needs from essential energy needs. This system provides enough power to run a small freezer, communication systems, and basic lighting. In a crisis scenario, this family would be the last ones with lights when the world goes dark. Festermacher's research showed thousands of locations in Pennsylvania suitable for this system. But barriers from local power companies have strangled such projects in their infancy. They use grid safety standards to prevent people from connecting or generating their own power. Anyone attempting to install a similar system faces prolonged legal trouble. They demand technical drawings approved by environmental and construction regulatory agencies. Every step in the approval process is unreasonably time-consuming and expensive. This is a form of soft prohibition through a bloated administrative apparatus. The ultimate goal is to discourage citizens and force them back into contracts with the national grid. Robert Festermacher recorded these things in his secret notes as a warning. He saw a future where humans become slaves to ever-increasing energy bills. And the $80 machine in Lebanon was the key to opening that cage door. It is not just a machine. It is a symbol of silent and intellectual resistance. The manipulation by electric corporations begins with redefining what a safe system is. They use complex technical standards to turn simple solutions into illegal ones. Modifying an old car alternator is a prime example of suppressed creativity. By removing the internal voltage regulator, the farmer unleashed its full potential. He understood that the Pelton wheel's speed would vary depending on the water level in the tank. A standard alternator would stop functioning if the RPM fell below a certain threshold. But with a fixed excitation current, the generator can still produce power even when the turbine turns slowly. This allows the system to squeeze every last drop of pressurized water when the tank is nearly empty. This system is not just physics, it is a revolution in energy management thinking. Look at the Pelton wheel buckets, which were hand-cast from scrap aluminum. They feature a split-notch design, so the water jet is not obstructed as the next bucket moves into position. Every small detail is aimed at extracting every single watt of power from the creek's flow. The wooden storage tank is not just for holding water. It is a natural pressure stabilizer. Wood has a slight elasticity, helping to absorb residual pressure pulses from the ram pump. It also provides better insulation than plastic tanks, preventing the water from freezing too quickly in winter. On extremely cold days, the farmer simply keeps a small flow of water running to prevent icing. The history of the Rural Electrification Association, REA, contains truths few people know. Originally founded to help people, it later became a tool for monopoly. They lobbied for regulations that prohibit unauthorized small-scale hydraulic harvesting. The reasons cited were aquatic ecosystem protection and prevention of streambed erosion. But in reality, the impact of an $80 ram pump is negligible compared to massive hydro dams. It is a double standard designed to protect the profits of utility shareholders. Anyone who owns a stream and a ram pump is a direct threat to them, because energy freedom leads to economic freedom and political independence. The Amish understand that connecting to the grid is a form of invisible binding. It forces you to participate in the monetary system and work to pay for imposed services. This $80 system is their way of maintaining a separate lifestyle and preserving tradition. If we look at the technical drawings in Festermacher's notebook, we see a perfect balance. The 47-foot drive pipe acts as a massive reservoir of momentum. When the waste valve closes, the hundreds of kilograms of moving water create a thunderous hammer. The energy of that hammer is forced through the small opening of the delivery valve to travel uphill. This is the most direct conversion process from high velocity to high pressure. No other mechanical component can perform this task as efficiently and durably. Over 22 years, the farmer only had to replace the rubber gaskets on the check valves. The cost of these spare parts was only a few cents, available at any hardware store. Meanwhile, a modern solar inverter might fail after 5 to 7 years, and its replacement cost could equal an entire year's worth of electricity bills for a normal household. The eternity of the Amish machine does not mean it never breaks. It means you can personally repair it forever without needing expert assistance. Dependency on high technology is a trap that makes humans weak and vulnerable. This water hammer system is a reminder of the power of practical intellect. Why do we accept paying for something that nature provides for free every single day? The answer lies in the laziness of thought and the fear of irrational regulations. Festermacher witnessed the old car alternators still spinning steadily after 2 decades. The small sparks at the generator's carbon brushes were evidence of a freedom that cannot be extinguished. He recorded that this current was cleaner and more stable than the grid power in remote areas. Grid waves are often distorted and experience voltage drops when industrial farms nearby draw heavy loads. But the Amish system is completely isolated, unaffected by anyone else. It is a sustainable energy island in an ocean of dependency and waste. The Amish secret is not that they reject technology, but that they selectively choose technology. True sustainability is not about buying the latest high-tech gadgets. It lies in understanding the basic principles that have nurtured civilization for centuries. This $80 machine is not a miracle. It is the result of observing nature. The farmer in Lebanon did not try to fight the stream. He turned it into a partner. Robert Festermacher carried this secret until the final days of his career. He regretted not being able to publicize it more widely due to systemic pressures, but he also hoped that one day this knowledge would be revived by those yearning for freedom. The world faces energy crises and an ever-growing dependence on complex technology. Meanwhile, the solution lies right within scrap materials and the power of gravity. You don't need $1 million lab to start your journey toward self-sufficiency. You only need a flowing stream, a few cast iron pipes, and the persistence of a craftsman. Remember, every watt of electricity you generate yourself is a step closer to total independence. Do not let administrative barriers discourage your creativity and survival instincts. The national grid may offer convenience, but it comes at the price of constant attachment. The Lebanon farm stood firm through widespread blackouts and massive storms. The old car alternator kept spinning, and the waste valve kept beating like the land's heartbeat. In 2016, the system was still working perfectly after 34 years without a single day of rest. This is the most powerful proof of the obsolescence of today's wasteful consumer model. We are taught that to have energy, we must pay and we must accept control. But the Amish prove the opposite with just $80 and a lead fishing sinker. The question is, will you choose dependent comfort or a struggle full of freedom? Festermacher chose to protect that freedom by remaining silent in his official reports. Today, this secret no longer belongs only to him or the Amish community. It belongs to anyone who dares to question the dominance of energy corporations. Look at the streams around you with a different eye, the eye of an engineer and a free person. Eternal energy is not found in luxury solar panels or massive wind turbines. It lies in the ability to master basic physical laws right on the land where you live. This video is not just about a machine. It is about a way of life that is independent and proud. We can learn much from the simplicity and practicality of the Amish people. Human creativity is limitless when it is not bound by profits and bills. Thank you for joining us in this investigation of the forgotten energy machine. Never forget that knowledge is the strongest weapon against monopoly and control. If you have a stream on your land, start building today. The world may go dark, but the current within you will never turn off. The future of energy is not at the center of the grid. It is at the edge of freedom. Robert Festermacher left a legacy that is not on paper, but in our intellect. Share this story so that cheap and defective solutions are never erased. Every ram pump erected is a new fortress of self-sufficiency. The stream still flows, gravity still exists, and the opportunity is still in your hands. At the end of this journey, we realize that $80 can buy more than scrap. It can buy liberation from the invisible chains of modern society. Welcome to the era of the true masters of energy.